Hi and welcome to another narration, presented by yours truly, Cryptids Roost. Please be so kind as to throat punch the like button and smack the arse of the subscription button as well. And remember to chokehold that notification bell and then select all. That way you'll receive all notifications each time I upload a new video. And by subscribing, you'll be the first to see all of our new spooky creepypasta stories. Be sure to check out the end screen at the end of the video. This will direct you to two more videos. One will be the most recent video uploaded, and the other will be a random video from within my catalogue of stories that I have already narrated. So be sure to check those out. I would just like to say a very big thank you to all of the authors that I have worked with, and all the ones that I will work with in the future. So, thank you all, my brothers and sisters. And now, let's just take a moment's silence for all the haters. That'll do. And if you would like to support the channel and buy me a coffee, you can donate via my PayPal, cryptidsroost@gmail.com. And why not hashtag cryptidsroost in your comments. So grab your coffee, sit back and enjoy the show. And don't forget, where fear is, happiness is not. The Life Lock. This awesome story is written by Moonlight-Haunter, a wonderful author over on Reddit. And if you would like to read more of their works, the Reddit link to their profile will be below in the description. The streets are full of people, voices, traffic, screams, murmurs, footsteps, horns. A cacophony of sounds invades each of the people walking from one side to the other. Those people who form a block, transporting which herd. It is a weekday, lunchtime. The sun is high up and even in the middle of the city, with its buildings reaching up to the sky. Its rays can be seen and felt, or at least that's what I imagine. I can't feel them. I don't feel the sun, nor the wind, not even the mixed aromas of the different food places. My body doesn't react to anything. For me, the world has become an eternal night. People are nothing more than shadows, blurred figures that pass from one side to the other without stopping to look. I cannot hear them, nor feel them, nor even recognise them. Their faces are a featureless blur. I can only barely make out if they are human or not. My life was not always like this. Before, I could see the world as it really was. Colourful, bright, bustling. I used to hate weekdays, cities, crowds. I used to hate it because I could see every face, distinguish every scent, react to every sound, grow old with those I loved. I don't hate it anymore. Now I miss it. It all started at a Halloween party, the last one I organised last October. I had wanted to organise one for a long time, so I was doing it, excited for months. I would invite all my friends, buy the best decorations, make the best meals. Everything would be perfect, but it was not. Nothing was perfect. A few weeks before the party, while looking for decorations on eBay, I found one in particular that caught my eye. They were two hands, open, bony and chilling. The object looked quite old, and that gave it even more creepy vibes. I figured it would be perfect for the party, so I bought it. When it arrived, I didn't take it out of the package until the day of the party. I did the same with all the decorations, as I didn't want anyone to see them when they came home for other things. I wanted everything to be a surprise. When the day finally came, I began to tidy up the whole house. In the front garden I placed several hollowed pumpkins, with lights inside to greet the guests. I also placed a life-size skeleton by the door, so that it seemed that it was welcoming everyone as a butler. Small garlands of bats decorated the staircase. I hung plastic spider webs in the corners and lamps. Little ghosts, black cats and witches decorated the trays, plates and tables, where food and drink will be displayed. In addition, I placed some pretty creepy decorations in various places around the house with the intention of scaring some of my friends. The stuffed spiders sticking out of the bathroom mirror were one of my favourites. When I took the palms out of the box, I was amazed at how they looked. They were even creepier in person. They were made of a white material similar to marble, just as cold and white, but not as hard. They were so detailed that veins, tendons and bones could be easily distinguished. The nails were long and sharp, just as white as the rest of the piece. The support on which they were leaning were made of dark and shiny wood. There were no inscription anywhere, no mark, not even a scratch. It was strange to see that they were so pristine, but it looked so old. I was observing them for several minutes in wonder, until I decided to place them on a small table near the entrance, next to a lamp that I had decorated with cobwebs. Guests began arriving shortly after. All my friends were there, and they showed up in the most varied costumes. I disguised myself as a vampire, with false teeth and all. The party was incredible. We drank, we played, we laughed. Everything seemed to be going wonderfully, and I felt splendid to see my friends enjoying everything I had prepared. There were even some who were spooked by the decorations I had bought and arranged specifically for that, so I was proud as well. The night progressed and some children rang the bell to receive their sweets. Little princesses and princes, werewolves, vampires, mummies and knights. Everyone went through the door and received their candy. After midnight, when all the children had returned home, our party continued. At one point, I was talking to one of my friends. I was leaning against the back of the sofa and my eyes drifted from her face to the hands. I didn't know why, but there was something about them that had been calling me all night, like they wanted my full attention. My eyes were fixed on the white palms, on the sharp nails, on the tendons moulded in that strange material. The edges of my vision started to turn black, but I didn't feel bad. For some reason, I couldn't take my eyes off those hands. The minutes seemed to turn into hours. All notion of time became useless in my brain. I didn't blink once while looking at them. My vision became increasingly black. The light went out and my surroundings seemed to cease to exist. Eventually, even the hands turned black and I lost consciousness. When I woke up, I was startled. There was a lot of light around me, such a contrast to the previous darkness that it made my head ache. I remember grabbing my head with both hands and closing my eyes tightly, trying to make the pain stop and the light to go out. When I opened my eyes again, I realised that I was on a gurney. I looked around, finding one of my friends sitting in a chair next to me. "You passed out," he told me. His tone of voice was concerned. "We didn't know what had happened to you. It looked like you hit your head when you fell, so we called 911 and they brought you to the hospital." I could hear his words, but their meaning eluded me slightly. Had I passed out looking at the palms? I wasn't sure what he was telling me. My friend also told me that I had been unconscious most of the day, that Halloween was over, and that visiting hours were about to finish, so he had to leave soon. After a moment, he said goodbye to me and left. Moments later, a doctor approached me. I don't remember their face nor their name. I don't even remember if it was a man or a woman. Everything was blurry. What I do remember is that they informed me that I had suffered a small decompensation, but that the blow had not been strong and that I would soon be able to return home. I was in the hospital until the next morning. During the night they did more studies on me and let me go with the recommendation that I not make too much effort in the next few days. When I returned home, most of the decorations had been removed and traces of the party cleaned up. I silently thanked my friends for doing this and made a mental note to thank them the next time I saw them. I finished arranging the things that had been left out during the day, trying not to strain myself as the doctor had said. For some reason I didn't get close to the hands until late at night. There was something inside me that prevented me from going to the place where they were, but eventually I had to get closer, and then my heart raced at what I saw. The palms, once open as if welcoming, were now closed. It seemed as if they were trying to contain something, as if they caught something and didn't want to let it go. I touched them, trying to test if they moved, because maybe one of my friends had left them that way, but they were as firm as before. It was impossible to move them. I did not understand what was happening at the time. I'm still not sure I know what's going on now, but over time I discovered that this was not just a decoration. I tried to put them in the box they came in, but no matter how much I put them in there, they would return to their place on the table. At first I thought I was just confused, that I had only intended to put them away and then I hadn't. But as the days passed, that was not the case. I tried to put them in the box, hide them, get them out of the house, and they returned to their place, over and over. But that was not the only change. As the days passed, as the hands continued to slip away, I began to notice changes in myself, in my body, in my thoughts, in the way I saw and felt the world. The first thing I felt was the sensation of being watched. No matter where I went, the feelings were always there. At home, at work, in the car. I turned over and over again, trying to find who was following me and watching, but there was never anyone. At first I thought it was just the feeling, that it was surely my imagination for everything that had happened in the last few days. But then I began to feel a compression in my chest, as if my ribcage was being squeezed. At times it was difficult for me to breathe, and at others I felt like I was in a very small room, even when I was outdoors. I went back to the hospital, but no one could find any problems. They attributed it to stress and let me go home. But my house has become a torture, because the hands were still there, closed as if they wanted to keep me contained, oppressed. The darkness was what followed. With each new day it seemed as if the sun became less bright, as if a twilight invaded everything. At first I thought it would be a sign that winter was approaching, but then I realised that even at noon, with the sun high, the world seemed dark. Everything around me began not only to darken, but also to blur. These stopped having distinguishable edges. It was as if I was looking behind a curtain of water all the time. Once again I headed to the hospital, believing that perhaps something was wrong with my eyesight. But again, no one could find anything. Everything was perfect. My body was perfect. And still I could feel everything getting worse and worse. I started to get hungry all the time. No matter what I ate, I was never satisfied. The same thing happened with the drink. My throat felt dry the whole time I was awake, and no matter what I took, I still had that intense thirst. Eventually I couldn't take anything, not food, not water, nothing. I also stopped being able to sleep. No matter how much I laid down, closed my eyes, the dreams didn't come. It never came, but neither did fatigue. I knew something beyond reason was invading me, and I was sure it had to do with those damn hands. So I tried my best to get rid of them. I threw them in the trash, tried to break them, threw them across the street, from the roof. I went to the river and threw them into its depths. They always came back to that little table next to the lamp. They had not changed since the incident, that they were still closed, and I convinced myself that what they contained was my own life, as if they wanted to protect it from something or someone. The feeling of being watched never went away. In fact, like all other symptoms, it got worse. The pressure on my chest is still there, and sometimes I can swear someone is watching me. It is no longer just a feeling. When I turn around, I see a strange shadow behind me, the shadow of a woman, or so it seems. She watches me. She chases me. I don't know who she is or what she wants. The sensations are strange at this point. I don't even know how much time has passed since the Halloween party. I have no idea when the days change, because for me, the world is dark all the time. I can no longer distinguish people, and as I look at the bustle of the street, standing here in the middle of it, I think about everything that has happened. People pass me as if they can't see me either. I don't know how they look at me, because their eyes are blurry points on an even more blurred face. They have no features. I can barely distinguish skin from hair or clothes. And she's there, behind me, watching me. I decide to start running. I have tried this before and it has not worked, but I decide to try one more time. I run to the river, to the ravine. She follows me closely. I can feel her. Even though the whole world is blurry, she appears to be sharp, as if she's the only thing in the world that matters. I keep running until I jump into the water. I don't need to take a breath, because I'm sure that I have also stopped breathing at some point, just as I have stopped eating and sleeping. The bottom of the river is covered with rocks, and despite hitting my head, I remain conscious. No blood comes out of the wound. I can't die. And she watches me, furious. How dare I escape from her? No one escapes from her. And that angers her even more. I don't know how I know this. I just know. The hands continue to hold something, trapping, but perhaps they are protecting. Maybe they are protecting me, and that's what makes her so mad. I don't know how many hours pass until I get out to the river. I'm soaked, and even though it's already night time, I don't feel cold. As always, hunger and thirst settle in my body, but I don't even try to calm them. I know how it would end. I can't eat or drink. What's the point of trying? I walk to my house and she follows me. She always follows me. She seems to be more furious now. Maybe watching me challenge her in the river made it worse. I don't know, and I don't want to find out either. When I get home, I go straight to the hands. They remain the same, closed. I gently touch the cool white surface. I look everywhere. She is on the other side of the door. The hours go by and neither of us moves. I look at the hands and something whispers to me. They speak a strange language, but I can still understand it. We have your life. It belongs to us. The whisper seems like hundreds of voices speaking at the same time. the voices of the hands. "She can't touch you. She'll never be able to do it." "Who is she?" I ask, but nobody answers. I look towards the door. She is there on the other side. She screams, more furious than ever. The door is slammed open and I see it, the darkness of the figures, the sharpest of all, untouchable, embracing, a force impossible to stop, but she somehow cannot touch me. She screams again. I cover my ears with my hands. She looks at the hands, perhaps realizing what is happening. I take several steps back to get away. The voices keep whispering that I am theirs, that my life belongs to them, that they are protecting me so that she cannot touch me. And she's furious that my life should have been hers that day, at the Halloween party, when my head hit the ground. The hands move. The movement looks like something out of a stop-motion movie, small, slowly, as if displaced from time. My heart races. For a moment I think that the hands will open, go into their original position and free me for her to take me. But no, the palms close even more. The pressure in my chest increases. The darkness deepens. The feeling of being trapped is greater, but she becomes even angrier. The hands continue to protect me and they don't want to let me go. I put a hand in my chest and open my mouth like a fish out of water, trying to breathe harder, pure survival instinct. Only when I look up and see the blurry, dark world around me do I remember that I don't need to breathe, that I won't die even if I stop. I smile. She tries to hold the hands, make the palms open, but she can't. The whispers keep saying that my life belongs to them, and she screams that it should be hers. A fight of wills takes place in front of my misty eyes. She wants to take me. The hands won't let go of me. She screams. The hands whisper, and my life is in between. My life that has become a spectre of what it was. Am I still living in spite of everything? Can I call this life? I don't know. I don't want to ask or think about it too much. The darkness grows and then she screams louder than ever before. Everything turns dark and I am not sure if I have lost consciousness or just vision. An infinite moment passes. Minutes, hours, days, maybe years. I have no idea. When the absolute darkness disappears, I am still at home. The hands are as always, closed. The day is dark and the world is blurry. She is gone. Your life belongs to us, forever, says the whispers. Don't forget, if you enjoyed that story, be sure to pop over to the author's Reddit profile and drop them a line, or even give them a glowing review. I'm sure they really would appreciate it. The link to their Reddit profile will be below in the description. Please be so kind as to throat punch the like button and smack the ass of the subscription button as well. And remember to tap the notification bell and then select all. That way you'll receive all notifications each time I upload a new video. Oh, and don't forget to share the video far and wide. This will all help with YouTube's algorithm and will help to promote this channel more. And don't forget to check out the merch store. The link will be in the description and also in the video thumbnail. And if you would like an honourable mention, send in a snapshot of yourself with your purchase and I'll feature it in one of the videos. I now have my very own subreddit community where you can submit any stories you've written. You can submit your stories or encounters either there or send them to cryptidsroost@gmail.com. If you wish to remain anonymous, that's fine with me. All the links are below. I also have a Facebook group, Twitter Reddit, and you'll also find me on Discord. If you would like to support this channel and help make it grow, my PayPal is paypal.me/cryptidsroost. Again, that will also be below.